All right, guys, we're back at it. We have some MLB news to discuss today, as well as some NHL and NBA playoffs. But before we get started, I have to announce some huge news. We officially have an interview lined up with a guy named James Dignan. For people who don't know who this is, he's a sports influencer and content creator that is in the middle of his journey to play professional football. He is most known on TikTok, where he has 109,000 followers and 7 million likes. We are very excited for people to hear about his inspiring story, and this is a great opportunity for our podcast to grow as well. So everyone be on the lookout for that. We absolutely can't wait. Zach and Colin are both here with me today. And guys, I kind of want to just hop right into it. Do we have any did you see it? Zach, do you want to get us started?
Oh yeah, I do. Dang, I knew I had my phone by me for some reason. So I got two. Did you see
Let me start then, because I only have one.
Okay.
I don't want you to pick mine.
I won't.
I think it was last night on TNT. Gretzky. Is this yours?
No, I thought you were talking about NBA TNT that we just were talking
No,
about.
that was one. But I love that show. But no, Gretz. If you have seen The Office, there's a quote from Michael Scott where he says, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take." Wayne Gretzky, like Michael Scott, and so Gretz wrote it on a poster yesterday, that exact same thing, and then he signed it like again, Wayne Gretzky, and then he also had the Stanley Cup there in front of him, so it's pretty dang cool.
Huh.
But yeah, also this is fresh squeezed orange juice that I made today. It's not a mimosa, so yeah.
Just drinking it in a fancy glass. Always classy.
Yeah, always a classy boy. So
So I got
my
two.
looks as well, very classy. But Zach, go ahead.
I got two. Did you see it? My first one I did send to you guys, and it was Jameis Winston working out. You guys remember me sending you that? He is just like, they have I guess tackling bags, dummies. I guess that's what they're called. Set up like three of them, and then he is holding the ball and like he's in the pocket and he's just like running around him like randomly, and then there's just like a guy who looks like he'd be his uncle just trying to whack the ball out of his hands, and it just him doing that for 20 seconds, and it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
Where did you send this? I don't think I saw that
on Twitter.
And he's known for this stuff, isn't he?
Yes,
he do this like year round?
One of them, he's in the pocket and there's a dog like running at him, and he's like moving out of the way of a dog. It's hilarious. Especially, I think last year before he got hurt, before the season started, he ran through what running backs run through with the dummies on both sides. And when he ran through it, he looked like a rag doll. He was like fumbling around. It was hilarious. But Jameis Winston, pure comedy. And then my other one, if I can find it. Oh, okay. I'm going to mute this. Let me get it. Wisconsin Timber Rattlers. High A minor league team. They had a like hot dog cannon. So they like were driven around in like a little car. They like put a hot dog in it, then like air compression, they just shoot it out into the stands. It's awesome. I don't think I sent it to you guys. I'll send it to you guys right now, but it's not really like what a lot of people will see, but I just thought it was awesome.
So just the wiener, or do they use the buns too?
Yeah, it's like wrapped up in tinfoil. They stick it in there.
Okay.
Because a hot dog is like the perfect shape of like a projectile.
Well, you should not do the foil, so then like maybe the bun goes a little farther than the dog or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
He's got
just like all this
hot dog flopper. Yeah.
Somebody gets the bun and somebody gets the actual hot dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then shoot some ketchup and mustard out there too.
My did you see it was actually game 2 of the Avalanche and Predators series. We all know how dominant Colorado is, and the Predators with their star goalie out, Saros, it's really tough. But game 2 happened last night, and the Predators put up a fight. It was 2-1 in overtime. They lost to a Cale Makar goal. But that's not really what I want to talk about. In net, the Predators without Saros had a 25-year-old goalie named Connor Ingram. And he was phenomenal. He stopped 49 of 51, and this was only his 5th career game. But it's even more than that. Like, his whole story is kind of interesting. He's currently dealing with extreme depression, and he's talked about how he's thought about ending his life several times. And then hours before game 2 last night, he told one of the assistant coaches that he was going to retire and just hang it all up. And he said, he realized that playing in game 2 will help with his mental health. Obviously there's a lot of pressure going into game 2 anyway. Obviously, if you haven't played, you've played 4 career games, that plays a big role too. But he decided that was the right thing to do, to fight through his mental health. And even though they lost, he was obviously great. And it's a story that obviously a bunch of people are going to be cheering for moving forward. I thought it was crazy though that like hours before game 2 and a semi must win, I guess, he's just ready to retire. I thought that was super.
He was just going to
super
retire,
odd.
hang it up right before the game started.
Yeah. He's only 25. He was just never
Jeez.
gonna play again. I thought it was
I feel
very
like-
interesting.
Doesn't the NHL have like a program for that? I feel like if you're that
there's-
open about it, you should be in that program.
Be
Right.
enrolled.
And if let's say he would have retired, that had to be like the only time ever where somebody is retired hours before they're supposed to start. I don't know. I thought
Well, there
that
was
I mean,
the NFL
Some
last
people
year where
just
the guy
retire
just
at the
left
end
in
of
the
a
middle of the
period or
game.
something. Sorry, you go first.
In an NFL game, a guy just left in the middle of the game
Yeah,
at
some
like
people.
halftime.
Oh,
Yeah, some people just like retire at the end of a period. There's like the hell with this. I'm done.
are you talking about Antonio Brown, Zach?
Not well. I also Antonio Brown, but not him. There was a guy for the Bills, I think, who just left at like halftime. He just didn't.
Wow.
He just left.
Yeah.
But also Antonio
Man.
Brown. I did forget that he did storm
Yeah,
off the field.
That's what I was. Yeah, shirtless. That's what I was picturing. But apparently he's been dealing with this depression for years and trying to fight through it. And again, he's only played 4 games, so he really hasn't had his opportunity yet. And then he was phenomenal last night, which, you know, with all this mental stuff he's dealing with, for him to kind of, I don't know, not really wipe it out, but like kind of deal with it and play in game 2, I thought it was pretty crazy. Obviously, we all agree they're probably going to lose in 4 or 5 anyway, but I thought that was pretty cool. In the MLB, let's get it going here. The Cardinals have had only 1 game since we talked last, but they won last night in San Francisco 7-1 over the Giants.
Big one.
Michaelis was great again. 5 2/3, only 1 run given up. At the end, he was kind of running on fumes.
I was gonna say he did give up. He 10 guys got on base though.
Yes, especially at the end, he had the bases loaded, and he was at like 88 pitches, or
He
I wanna
finished
say
with
maybe-
95.
okay, so he was about 84 pitches, something like that, and he had like a 10 or 11 pitch at bat to man, I don't remember the Estrada, I believe his name is
Estrada. I'll look at the line. Yeah.
Thyro Estrada or Tyro. So yeah, he had a long at bat to that, kind of running on fumes. He threw a curveball trying to put him away, walked him, had the bases loaded. And then the bullpen was phenomenal, like they have been all year. But are the bats finally alive, guys?
I
We
hope
finally
so.
have them going here.
I sure hope so. But
yeah,
Tommy Edman continues to impress. He is our table setter. If he's not going, then no one's going to be able to drive them in. But he also had 3 RBIs, so he was basically doing everything.
No, and then Yachty homered. And I told you guys, I never thought I'd see Yachty drive one out again. You know, I thought putting on the weight would like help him maybe with power, at least get his big body behind one. But
I think
he hasn't been able to
muscle
hit one.
weight would help, maybe not fat weight.
Yeah, I guess. It was great to see Tyler O'Neill get 2 for 5 with a couple ribbies. Carlson, who was like in the 8 hole last night, he was 2
Yeah.
for 4.
Yepes 2 for 4.
But yeah, Yepes like looked really good. Something
DeYoung
interesting
0
with
for
him.
4, 3 strikeouts.
Yeah, he
Did
looked
get a walk, though.
kind of overpowered. He's late on everything, especially like
I think he's just thinking too much. He has to be like have so much pressure.
I agree. I mentioned like how good the bullpen has been. Palante came in last night, was great, and then like throughout the whole year. Let me read off some of these. I'm a big ERA guy. I like that's like a big stat I look at when it comes to pitchers. I know there's a bunch of advanced stuff, but
Whip.
Palante won. What's that?
I said whip
Whip.
is another
Yeah,
fun
yeah,
stat. I just like saying the word whip.
Tommy Boy's not striking out really either at all.
No, he has more walks than strikeouts,
Mhm.
which is,
Like significantly more.
and also Arenado's walking more than I thought he did last year. He went 0 for 3, but he had 2 walks. So to me, 2 for 5. That's
And
how I
yeah.
think about it.
you mentioned Yepez. I don't know if you guys were able to watch the game, but he starts the at bat. All like two of the first three at bats, he got to two strikes. But when he starts the at bat, he's up straight, hands are really high, and when he got two strikes, his whole like stance and appearance changed. He squatted really low, had the bat on his shoulder, like obviously just trying to stay alive with two strikes.
Mhm.
He looked very just hitterish. Like I obviously nobody's really seen him at the plate yet.
Albert Pujols
He
Jr.
looked like he belonged here, which was good to see.
Like that. Yeah, continue with your ERA stuff.
Oh yeah, so Palante has a 1.38 ERA. Genesis Cabrera 2.79. Nick Whitgren 1.93. Woodford had a bad outing last time, but he has a 3.12 ERA. Cody Whitley 1.04. Helsley hasn't given up a run yet. And then Gallegos had one bad game that raises to 5.63, and McFarland struggled. But if you know 6 of your 8 guys or whatever in the bullpen is doing that below 2 ERAs,
That's really good.
Yeah, you can really trust them.
As we said, if last episode a couple of days ago, our biggest question mark coming into the season was our pitching, starting, and I'd say even our bullpen too. Even though Cabrera and Gallegos pitched good, but that was probably Cabrera's first really big year, and also Helsley struggled last year. So it's really good to see our bullpen looking super good, and Michaelis getting back to elite. Like he's elite right now.
I think he's just finally healthy.
Yeah, I agree.
We saw this type of guy when he was 18-4 a couple of years ago. He's just been dealing with some stuff. Tonight we have Jordan Hicks on the mound against Alex Cobb.
Jordan
like
Hicks
our
looks
chances.
good, but he always just one or two pitches just get
Mhm.
away from him, and then someone hits a home run or something.
I mentioned it last time that he went like 60 pitches, which is a lot more than what he was going
Mhm.
before. I hope he kind of eases up a little more, maybe 65 tonight, something like that.
100.
but the Giants are a bunch of they don't have Brandon Belt in the lineup, and I don't know if Crawford was even in the lineup. Crawford
He was in the
actually.
lineup. He's batting 221 though.
But besides those two guys, it's really a bunch of just fill in the spot names. Like they don't have any big names.
Yeah, Strimsky was pretty solid last year. Jock Peterson, hate him.
I forgot about Jock.
I think he's way overrated.
He is. But no, and I'm going to talk about the Rays here in a little bit. But those two teams literally is just filling the spot.
Also,
Crazy
kind of the
last night.
A's, Oakland.
Yeah,
They just
Yep.
you got to give credit to their managers and just
Yeah.
the organization, just always
Wh-
putting out a good team. Which I also think is for like the Cardinals. We always seem to have a competitive team. Like we have some years where we don't make the playoffs, but it's not like we're 40 and 100 and like you know what I mean. Like we're still like around 500.
No, all three of us have been extremely spoiled with Cardinals baseball. We have only seen like 2 losing teams in our 22 years of life.
We've seen 2 World Series, and some people have never seen their team win a World Series.
Yeah, exactly. The Giants, though, real quick, before we move on, they did like that opening starter last night. I think you pronounced the name Joe Vera. I think that's how they were saying it. They pitched 9 pitchers last night. So they've been doing this all year. Yeah. Besides like a couple guys in the rotation, Rodon, Alex Cobb, those 2 guys give them innings. Besides that, it's literally just like calling up people and just like filling like 9 pitchers last night. It's just crazy.
John Brebbia. I didn't know he was on the Giants.
Yeah. Yeah. And I tweeted about it. There was a girl behind home plate that had the mic next to her. Guys, it was like the most annoying thing I've ever heard in my life. I had to like mute the TV for a long time.
What was she saying?
It was the same thing every time. So like it was like, let's go Brebbia, and then let's go Santos, but she would say it every pitch. It was just
oh my god,
literally driving me insane. But other news around the league, the Mets were down 7-1 in the 9th last night, and the Phillies choked it. And the Mets won 8-7.
I don't like the Mets or Phillies, but I love when the Phillies don't do good because I hate Bryce Harper.
I think I would take the Mets. If I had to pick one, I would take the Mets over the Phillies, I think. I just hate
I think I
Philadelphia
would
fans.
agree. I don't like either team, but I would agree. But just seeing Bryce Harper not succeed, it just brings joy to me.
Yeah. We haven't talked about the Padres much on here. Maybe once or twice, but they stayed hot last night with a 2-1 win over Miami. And do you guys know who leads the league in batting average right now?
Yeah. Eric
Eric
Hosmer.
Hosmer. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
A guy who had a really good few years in Kansas City, won a World Series with them, correct?
Unfortunately,
then-
yes.
And then kind of hasn't been the same guy. And then he's really found himself this year. In the American League, the Mariners have been kind of a disappointment so far with 12-14, 4-game losing streak. They got a bunch of pieces in the offseason. Jesse Winker really hasn't played like he has in the past this year. And then the Rays, like I mentioned at the beginning, the Rays are 16-10 with a bunch of no-name guys just kind of filling
Randy
in.
Rosarena. They have Wander Franco.
Franco, that's true. Rosarena, somebody was talking about, has like the magic worn off with him because he's
Really?
batting like 212, and apparently obviously I don't watch a lot of Rays games, but apparently he's not the same guy. And then I wanted to finish up a little bit here with the Reds update. The Reds are now 3-22, and we know how bad Joey Votto has been this year. This stat blew my mind. He has one extra base hit this year. He has one double, no homers, no triples, obviously. One extra base hit.
I think Goldie only had one extra or no extra base hits until like a couple weeks ago. He just had like 12 singles.
And Goldie gets randomly super hot.
Yes.
We mentioned, especially when the weather heats up, but he's been hitting a lot better. But Joey Votto, after coming off last year, his whole career has been like approach. So like a couple years, he wanted to be more of a walk guy. So he squatted real low, choked up on the bat, and just found things off. Then he wanted to be more of a power guy, especially last year. He had like 37 homers. And then this year is just like neither. Like, I don't know if it's just aging or
he changes his batting stance every year.
Yes, he does.
So you know how you were saying Eric Hosmer's number 1 in batting average? Can you tell me who's number 2?
Oh no, I can't. Who is that?
Manny Machado.
Okay, I know he's been doing well.
374.
Because no one actually. So who's actually first on? Does it say Hosmer's first?
Yeah, Hosmer, Manny Machado, J.P. Crawford, Josh Bell. He's going to be a good piece to trade for the Nationals.
Yeah, definitely.
Andrew Benintendi, and then I have to click on more stats. I'll just read like all the 100 names. Bogarts. Arenado is 6th.
So on the ESPN app, what are you using to?
I'm on CBS Sports.
Okay. So on the ESPN app, actually, the number 1 batting average is Juan Yepez at 567 because no one qualifies with bats right now.
Oh, really?
So I saw that and I was like, "What?" It kind of threw me for a loop. But anything else stand out to you guys baseball wise before we move on? Oh, again, it's been 2 days since we filmed last. So
did you guys know Arenado and Tommy Edman are top 5 in WAR?
I did not know that. I knew Tommy was.
I don't know if they're actually top 5 anymore, but they're up at the top of the lists.
I think Tommy was first until like a couple days ago.
He's playing amazing.
He's
great defense. Great. I don't know if it was a couple days ago. I think it was a couple days ago. He almost made this amazing play where he dove to his right and almost threw the guy out. But I think it was against the Royals. I think it was before our last episode. But he dove to his left and it was almost amazing. But he just bobbled the exchange. But he's amazing.
When we got rid of Colton Wong, I thought the defense would drop off, and he's
better.
Much of a drop off. Yeah, he's been absolutely amazing. And we're always on. All three of us are always on Mosaic for moves that he makes.
You have to hold him accountable.
Yeah, definitely. But letting Colton Wong go was not one of his mistakes. We would never have seen Tommy Edman shine like he has been. In the NHL, though, there was a lot of game 2s that happened since we filmed last. On Wednesday, the Lightning bounced back versus Toronto. 5-3. 5-3 really wasn't how it showed though. The Lightning kind of dominated, and Toronto scored a couple at the end. That series is 1-1 now. The Hurricane just bullied through the Bruins again. And Colin, do you think the Bruins are done for now, down 2-0, or do you think they have a little fight left?
I think they have to win the next two at home. Otherwise, they have no chance. But I
Did
don't.
you see the little rat Marchand whack the guy with the stick?
No.
Whack the guy, with his stick.
Doesn't surprise me though.
You guys didn't see it? Oh,
No.
look at me. Look at me, the
Yeah, look
hockey
at you,
guy.
hockey boy.
Yeah, I was watching it, and I guess the guy like pushed him, and then Marchand pushed him back. Then he pushed him again. Then Marchand just took a stick and whacked him.
I mean, we all saw the Hampus Lindholm hit though, didn't we?
Oh
The
yeah,
Carolina
yeah,
had on him.
railed.
He
was
was just
awesome.
like knocked out cold, wasn't he?
That was a clean hit though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I mean, he tried to get up and like fell back down, I believe,
Or
because
that
he
one.
was just so wrung. The Oilers bounced back big, very big against the Kings, 6-0. The series is now tied 1-1. We talked about how big that was for the Oilers. A lot of pressure coming into the playoffs, especially falling down 1-0 on your home ice. They go back to LA. And then on Wednesday night, the Blues lost to the Wild 6-2. And we can talk a little bit more about this now. Series is tied 1-1, coming back to St. Louis. Are we feeling confident? Coming back here, little shaky now. What are we feeling?
I guess
Um,
a little confident because we're at home ice, but giving up that many 3 goals just in the first period, it was not great sight to see. And also, don't we have a lot of defensemen hurt? I think
I'm worried.
Bortuzzo and Letty, right?
Yeah.
Did I pronounce those both
yeah.
right? Let's go.
Yep.
They're both out. I saw a tweet. Yeah, big hockey guy.
Well, Colin's not holding back. He's very worried here.
I'm worried. I mean, Scandella's been out, and I'm not. I didn't think we played as bad as the score looked last game. We dominated them in the third period until, of course, they had that fast, like the 2-on-1 goal. But we dominated them up like from the first 15 minutes of the third, and then their first goal was when Bortuzzo's stick just like snapped in half when he touched the puck.
Yeah.
So that was, just unlucky. And I think they had 2 power play goals too.
Yeah. And then Tarasenko had one where he like turned it over right in front of the net as well. So
I saw that one. Yeah, it was a really bad pass.
So
it really wasn't like they were outplaying us a whole lot. But
yeah, we had a couple. I thought Fleury played really well too. So he made a couple of really nice saves.
I'm kind of surprised after he played really solid, I thought, in game 1 too. But losing 4-0, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go with Talbot, because Talbot's been the guy all year for them.
Yeah.
And I wonder if we'll see Talbot at all in this series.
Do you think
have a hard
have they
time
announced
seeing
who's
they
in
wouldn't
net
use
for
him at all.
us?
It has to be Husso. It's got to be.
I think if we get down to a game where it's elimination, you got to put Bennington.
Yeah,
just because he was like
That's
he was
go.
like crazy the last time.
Yeah. But Zach, you mentioned the defensive injuries that we have right now. I'm afraid that's going to hurt us. We called up Steven Santini as emergency help. So
Stud.
Yeah, I'm worried about
never
that.
good
Man.
about that.
I mean,
The
I
thing
think
with the Wild.
Scandella's a game time decision, I think.
Okay. That
Suck
helps.
it up and play.
And then you guys, or Zach, you mentioned the three goals to start off the game for the Wild. We had, with how offensive strong their first line is with Hartman, Kaprizov, and Zuccarello, we knew they were going to score eventually after shutting them out the first game. But yeah, they came out firing. So hopefully the Blues, we're filming this on a Friday, so hopefully they come out tonight and play well. On Thursday, the Rangers beat the Penguins 5-2 with Louis Domingue in net this time. I mentioned that whole story last time, but they lost 5-2. The series is tied 1-1. The Panthers beat the Capitals in probably a must win for the Panthers, which is kind of shocking to say because it's one game into the playoffs, but you lose your first one on home ice to the Capitals, and then you go down 2-0 going back to Washington. You're in a lot of trouble. But they won 5-1. That series is tied 1-1. I mentioned the Avalanche beating the Preds 2-1. That's probably only going to go 4 or 5. And then my game of the game twos that stood out was the Stars beating the Flames last night, 2-0.
Shut them out.
Yeah, Jake Ottinger was unbelievable. Now it goes back to Dallas, and I know you mentioned the TNT thing with Wayne Gretzky. He was talking about it last night. Anybody can beat anybody, especially this year. It's so wide open. But do you think the Stars have a chance?
I think they have a chance. I mean, just because they play like such a slow, like, just like such a slow, pounded out game. And if Ottinger plays as well as he has the first two games, they're gonna have a chance every night.
Which would really mess up all of our hockey brackets because we all had the Flames winning it all. So that would really
You
not
guys all
help.
copied me.
Yeah,
Honestly, I probably just copied you guys because I had no idea.
That would be
just couldn't-
something if the
I had to pick
Stars.
against the Avs.
That'd be something if the Stars beat the Flames and the Panthers got knocked off by the Capitals right off the bat.
That would be hilarious. Oh, I do want to ask a question because you guys probably know more than me. So I was watching the Carolina Bruins game, and the Carolina's goalie got hurt, I believe, and got taken out. Did he ever come back in?
I don't.
So I was like
believe so.
making dinner, and I didn't know if he came back in because they had to put in a rookie because their starters already hurt.
Is it Ronta? Is that who you're talking about?
Ronta got hurt.
I don't think he ever came back.
Yeah,
He's
let me
always
read
he's
let me read
always hurt.
But then without Ronta and Freddie Anderson,
Kochetkov.
So maybe
Kochetkov. Yeah.
maybe my Bruins pick is looking pretty good now.
Well, they still
might be.
lost whenever he came in. It happened in like the first.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. They get dominated by Carolina. They're getting dummied.
Going back to Boston, I don't think they're going to be done without a fight, though. I think
No.
Boston's experienced and
Marchand's
yeah, he'll
dirty
probably do
play.
some stuff that the refs don't see, and then they'll find a way back in the series. But game threes are tonight. I know the Lightning Leafs game, that's a big one tonight. Obviously, the Blues Wild, and a couple more. And then let's finish off with some NBA here.
Hey, who you guys got tonight in all those games?
Who is it again?
Boston,
I'll list them
Carolina.
all. Yeah, Boston, Carolina first. I'll take Carolina because I don't know. They've just kind of had Boston's number, and from listening to the game, the announcers said they've had their number all season. So I'm just going to trust the announcers and go with Carolina.
I'm going with Carolina because I think Boston's looked like ass.
To
I'm
say
gonna
it
go
lightly.
Boston. Just because I don't think I think Carolina wins game 4 and then they win in like 5 or 6. But I think Boston will not go down 3-0 on their home ice.
Toronto, Tampa.
I got Tampa.
I got Tampa because it's in Tampa. And they looked really good the other night. I still am a firm believer that how much hockey they've played over the last 2 years is going to catch up to them. I'm sticking by that, but I did pick the Leafs to not win in the first round. So
Well, Vasilevsky still hasn't lost back-to-back playoff games in like 5 years or something like that.
Ridiculous. It's absolutely
It's absurd.
That's crazy. But didn't Toronto win the first one? So
Yeah, so they could do it.
I'm picking Toronto just because.
All right.
Right
Just
on.
to be devil's
I
advocate.
hope Toronto wins. Yeah.
The Blues,
Oilers,
Minnesota.
Keep that Blues one for last. Let's do
Okay.
Oilers Kings. I have the Kings. I had them winning the series. I think being in LA, I know LA fans, there's so much to do in LA that hockey games is not one of the priorities. But so I don't even know how crazy. I mean, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere either way, but I don't think it's going to be as crazy as some other atmospheres, especially. I don't know if you guys have seen any of Calgary and Dallas's games. Calgary's crowd is insane.
Yeah.
Like it's literally red everywhere. But I have the Kings. What do you guys got?
I'll take Edmonton.
Me too. I'm going Oilers. I just
Looked
don't
really
like
good last
LA
game.
teams.
And yeah, like you said, Edmonton dominated last game. Looked really good. And then let's finish off with some Blues Wild. I have the Blues just because it's on home ice. But what do you guys think?
Oh boy, I don't know.
I obviously am cheering for the Blues and want them to win, but just all our defensive injuries, it just scares me. But I'll go Blues just because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm more so leaning towards Minnesota, but
I really think this is
I
like
think
a kind of a must-win kind of game. I'll say
I
it.
don't. That
I'll
I
say
don't
it.
think.
I think it's important to win them at home.
I
Also,
do
how
too.
is the playoff schedule? Is it like MLB or is it like
It's 2-2,
NBA?
1-1-1.
Okay, so it's like
It's
NBA.
2-2-1. Yeah.
So maybe it's not okay. I thought it was gonna be like 3 in a row.
No. So I think Blues will win game 4 and they'll go back to Minnesota 2-2.
Okay. Well, I don't agree with that because for one reason, I think it's a lock that the Blues are going to win. Actually, now thinking about it, because
Tonight?
because I wore this Shen jersey in game 1 and they dominated, and then I did not wear it in game 2 and they lost badly. So it's going to be a lock tonight because I'm wearing
Alright.
it. So
Lock.
that's a lock.
You heard it here
Well,
first.
Locked it
Lock.
in.
I wore my same jersey both games. So so when
I'm
we
very
our
I'm very
cup
superstitious with that
Oh,
stuff.
me too, yeah. Our
I've
cup
worn the
run,
same Cardinal jersey to like my Stan Musial jerseys to every game since I've gotten it.
Yeah.
so our cup run in 2019, that was 2019, right? Yeah. Um After the first round, I guess. Yeah, after the first round at Winnipeg, I had a really good idea every game, like what the Blues were gonna do. Like literally every single game, especially in the last 2 rounds. So you know that they played Gloria like all the time. So every single time I heard Gloria on the radio, like in my car before the game, we freaking lost. And every time I didn't hear it, we won. So by the third in the this conference final in the final, like I knew every game what we were gonna do, or at least like in my head I knew it.
Well,
The
some
only
people
game, the only game where I heard Gloria, and we won was Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Because I was so damn like depressed, going into the start of that game. And then the Boston came out and had like 24 shots in that first period, and I was just like crying. I'm like, here it is, like we have no chance. So
Well, some people will probably think that's crazy. I completely understand where that comes from.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you have to sit in the same spot if it works. You have to wear the same stuff if it works. Do you guys have anything else hockey wise before we move on?
Most of the series are 1-1 too. So 1-1, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
just Carolina, Boston, and Nashville, Colorado.
And it's so much fun. I have a couple on a night. It's so much fun right now.
Yeah, I watched the last 15. No, I watched the last period of the Calgary game, and I watched the last period in overtime of the Colorado game. So
I only got to watch the overtime. Was the third period pretty exciting?
there wasn't. I mean, yes, but also like not really, because Nashville had like one shot. It was ridiculous. But no, I was so I didn't see the very end of the game because it was getting late, and I'm like, I need to get to bed. So I was eating my PB&J as I do every night, watching the game. And so I had gotten done, and I was like sitting there watching the game, and I'm like, I'll just go like next dead puck. I'll just go like take my dishes in the sink and go brush my teeth. Well, I was like, it was probably like 6 minutes of like straight through play, no dead pucks. And so I just was like, whatever. So I took it, went to the kitchen. As soon as I got in the kitchen, they scored. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. And do you guys have plans tonight? Or you guys, obviously we're all three, I'm sure, Zach, we're going to be watching the Blues game tonight.
I am I'm going to Kaylee's last formal ever in college. So
are you in Springfield?
Yeah, I'm in Springfield.
Oh, nice.
Flew in last night. The funny thing is I flew in right after we landed, it started storming. We got to the gate, it just started pouring down rain. But hopefully it'll be on at some of the bars and stuff.
Well, I was about to say your background looks different, so I knew you.
Yeah,
I mean, you told me yesterday anyway, but I knew you were in somewhere different.
It's not. It's obviously I wouldn't have all that on my wall. You don't see any Clemson stuff, so.
Yeah, I don't know what we're doing tonight. Might be playing some more basketball. I played earlier today. Ooh, I was dummying this kid. Felt bad for him. He was a good player. Like he was solid, but I mean, I was just on today. So we played threes, and I think in that game to 15, I hit 9 step back shots from the elbow. And
Jeez.
this kid was like, what the hell am I supposed to do? But yeah, we first got out there. He was like a little taller than me, and he was a good player, but I mean, it was hilarious because the first time I like put him on skates, I gave him a little crossover and then a little little step back, and he was like, "What the hell just happened?" So, feeling good. Yeah, so
Well,
might go back later, but
speaking of basketball, let's finish up with some NBA here. You like that
Oh
transition?
yeah, NBA.
Thought that was pretty smooth.
That was very smooth.
transition. Nice.
There's only been 2 games since we talked last. The Heat beat the Sixers 119-103. They're up 2-0 in the series. And then the Suns beat the Mavs 129-109. They're up 2-0 in the series. And I did not expect the Suns to blow them out like that in game 2. I thought there'd be some fight. But let's talk about the Heat Sixers first. 119-103. Maxey had 34. He played really well. Harden 20 on 6 of 15. Just not enough, as we talked about before.
Good shooting percentage.
Yeah, but I mean, when Embiid's out, you need him to take 20 plus shots. You just have to. Tobias Harris had 21, and then the next highest had 8. That was like Cork Moss off the bench. And the thing with the Heat is we've talked about how deep they are. Jimmy Butler with 22, Bam with 23, and then off the bench, Oladipo had 19, and then the recently named 6th man of the year, Tyler Hero, he had 18. So they're just so deep, and they play enough defense, or really good defense, but enough to
It's
get
like
by.
enough defense. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, Maxey, Harden, and Harris all had 20 plus, but nobody else. I mean, they played enough defense on everybody else to
I do
slow
have a
them
question.
down.
I have a question. Do you think the Sixers would be playing better right now if they didn't make the Ben Simmons James Harden trade?
Oh, that's a good question. Because I think James is playing solid. I think if it wasn't James Harden, we would be saying, man, this guy's doing really well. But if you need him to be your star, I don't think they would have been better. And I'm not a Ben
I could see
Simmons
Seth
hater.
Curry putting up the same amount of points James Harden's putting up.
I didn't even think about Seth. I was just thinking Harden, Simmons straight up. Yeah, that's true.
And they had Drummond. Like Drummond's probably better than DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, DeAndre's not been good. DeAndre needs to hang him up. He's been bad for the last couple of years. That's true. I was just thinking straight up. I would say probably better with Seth and Drummond, especially with Embiid out. Drummond would be coming in huge at this.
Yeah,
this time.
but if they had Embiid, I think they would.
The series could go 6 or 7 if they had Embiid.
Yeah.
He's an absolute monster. And then the Suns beating the Mavs 129-109. I'm going to use the same comparison that I used for the Bucks Celtics. CP3 had 28, 8 and 6 in the fourth quarter. He's been literally dominant in the fourth quarter, like not missing a single shot. And then Devin Booker 34 and 4. Luka showed out 35, 7 and 5, very efficient.
7 turnovers though.
The 7, yeah, that's true.
And he was minus 28. Wow, their whole starting lineup was like minus 20 plus.
Yeah. And the 7 turnovers, I expect 4 or 5 out of him every night. He has the ball every possession.
Mm-hmm.
But Jalen Brunson, 9 points, and then 5 and 2. But that's the comparison I'm using is that Jalen Brown and Tatum dominated the other night, and it was just Giannis. Now it's CP3 and D-Book. Like Luka needs somebody else to show up, and it has been Brunson until this series.
Spencer Dinwiddie didn't play great either.
I think Reggie Bullock was their next highest scorer. With like
16.
That Reggie Bullock should never be the second highest scorer on a playoff team. But game 3s are tonight. Heat are up 2-0 in the series. Suns are up 2-0. It's now in Philly and in Dallas, so maybe they can make a series out of it.
Are all 4 games on tonight?
No, the Celtics, Bucks, and Grizzlies, Warriors are in that 2-day stretch where they have like 2 days in between games. So they play Saturday. So no games were on last night. It was just like a clean slate. Celtics, Bucks, though, that series is tied 1-1, and then Grizzlies, Warriors, that series is tied.
Yeah, I think these could honestly both be sweeps.
Oh, you talking about the Sixers, Mavs?
Sixers, Heat,
Those
and
two?
Mavs, Suns.
Okay. Because I think the Celtics, Bucks, Grizzlies, Warriors could go all 7.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Those two are phenomenal series. And then I have 3 questions for you guys that you guys have to pick one or the other. So currently, right now, are you taking Ja Morant or Steph Curry? Not with the team or not with past or future.
Like to
Steph
start
Curry.
a franchise?
To lead your team right now in the playoffs. Yeah,
Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time.
Conlon,
Yes.
Steph. Okay.
Yes.
But also, well, that's tough because I'm also like biased because he's been there before. He's a veteran. He knows what it takes. So if like none of that considered, I don't know.
See, that's what that I think that what I'm trying to ask is like that counts. His
okay.
past, not with the team though. Like you don't add Andrew Wiggins, Jordan Poole, Clay Thompson.
Yeah.
Like it's just individual.
Steph Curry.
Steph.
You both Steph.
Yes.
I would.
You can score
I
like
think-
60 in like a half if
I
he
would-
wanted to.
I would lean towards Steph, yes. But I will say in these first 2 games, Ja has played better than him in both of them, especially in the last one, 48, 8 and 8 or whatever. Like,
Also,
but
Ja
yeah,
has like really no one else to score as much as Steph
That's
Curry.
true.
They have their team. They pass the ball around and stuff.
very true, very true. My next question was: are you taking? So eliminate Giannis and Jason Tatum from this. Are you taking the Bucks supporting cast without Chris Middleton, or the Celtics supporting cast? I know they have Jaylen Brown, which is a star, but with Drew Holiday and Bobby Portis, and obviously they've been there and done that. Are you taking the Bucks or the Celtics supporting cast? No
Let me
Giannis, no
flip a
Tatum.
coin. That means nothing to me.
I'll probably take Celtics just
Heads of
because
the
the Bucks
Bucks.
don't have Middleton.
Yeah, I'll take the Bucks.
Okay. All right. And then what'd you say, Zach?
I said I'll take the Celtics because the Bucks don't have Middleton, and in the last few games, it's literally Giannis scoring like 50, and then no one else doing anything. But the Celtics, if they don't have Jaylen Brown or Marcus Smart playing defense, then they're gonna get destroyed every game.
Yeah. So if Middleton was here, would you take the Bucks?
Probably
supporting
Middleton
cast?
and Drew Holiday, 2 stars, I'd say.
I would
Holiday
take that.
kind of on the I think he can play at star level.
No, I think so too. I think he's very underrated.
Mhm.
And I would take the Bucks supporting cast with Middleton. Without though, you have Jaylen Brown, who's a star, possibly a top 25 player, and then Marcus Smart, 6th man of the year, which
Robert
or not
Williams.
6th man, DPOY of the year, not 6th man. And yeah, Robert Williams has been great. Grant
And
Williams off the bench is really good actually.
Derek
Um,
White,
Derek White, yeah, they got him
Yeah.
from the Spurs throughout the year.
Al
then-
Horford. I'm just kind of saying names because I'm trying to think of who's on their team.
Yeah, no, Horford's definitely a veteran presence that helps out. And then my last question for you guys, and Zach, this is your 2 favorite players, but to pick right now, it's really the same thing as Ja Morant and Steph Curry.
Oh,
you
God,
picking-
it's gonna be with LeBron, isn't it?
No. Are you picking Luka Doncic or Jason Tatum? It's actually your 2 favorite players. So are you taking Luka or Tatum right now?
Right now,
Same thing applies as the Ja and Steph thing. No team around them.
basically
Who are
like
you picking?
mm,
I know it's tough. I'm gonna
there's
lean
pros and
towards-
cons.
I'm gonna lean towards I was thinking Luca until I
What about you, Colin?
I'm
Flip
gonna
it a
go
coin.
Luca. Because he controls more of the game.
I was thinking Luca, but also I'm Tatum just because he plays defense and he kind of locked
Yeah.
down Kevin Durant on some plays.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was just actually thinking of that was kind of turning me a little bit. But Luca being like the point, I
Mhm.
guess point guard.
And the NBA is so much more about offense. Like he can
Yeah.
play decent enough defense, and if he has a good supporting cast, then
Exactly.
like he doesn't have to be an amazing defender.
So I'm gonna go Luca. You going with Luca?
Yeah, I still love you,
Okay.
Jason Tatum.
And Conlon, you want to flip that coin one more time?
Yeah, hold on. All right, we'll go Tatum as tails. All right, we'll take Luca too.
All right, right on.
I don't know. There is another thing that may switch me. Deuce Tatum, Jason Tatum's
The
son.
kid.
He's awesome. Did you see him helping stretch out Jason Tatum the other day, and then he started like trying to whack the guy in the face who was actually
Yes.
stretching him? He's like
Yeah.
Is he a
trying to punch
teenager
him.
yet?
Yeah, he's like 4.
No, yeah, he's like 4 or 5.
No, I know.
He's tall. He's a very
Um,
cute kid.
But we'll be back early next week for episode 19. Again, we have that interview with James Dignan coming up. I think it's going to be absolutely tremendous interview. Again, he's very, very popular, and I think this could really help us grow. And also, just from following his story, it's very interesting and really inspiring to a lot of people. But continue to watch some playoff basketball and hockey. I know we will. That's pretty much all I've been doing lately, especially with my girl in Florida right now on a trip. So I literally just have 2 TVs on and a laptop on every night watching sports. But do you guys have anything else?
The bachelor life right now.
Yes, seriously.
Yeah, no, I'll be watching hockey. I don't know how much basketball I'll watch, but
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I'm
Well, when it comes down to the finals, are you guys gonna both be watching that at all?
probably not.
depends who's in it,
All right.
maybe.
I had hope. But
It depends on who's in it.
If I'm like
Yeah,
not
like-
doing
Okay.
anything, I'm like, it's Nabby like looking for something to watch, nothing good on. Oh, the finals. Oh, is it on TNT? I'll go and see if the halftime show's on to watch
Yeah.
the best part about the NBA.
Yeah.
Also, the Champions League final is set. I guess it was set last time we talked too, because I was going to mention it and just forgot. But yeah, that'll be interesting. A rematch from 3 years ago.
Is it Real Madrid?
It's Real and Liverpool, yeah.
Mm.
So
That's when Liverpool won, right? No, Liverpool won it
no,
against
Real
Barcelona.
won.
What?
But
I said Liverpool won it when they played Barcelona in the final, right?
maybe. How long ago?
I don't know. I just remember Messi made an amazing like free kick that like curved in and was beautiful. But I think they
Yeah.
were up like 4-0 and then they lost or something.
Oh, I don't think that was the final though.
Oh, it was the semifinal.
Yeah, no, I think we did win though, like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think you guys did too. Because last year was Chelsea. Then the year before it was, I don't know. That's when COVID happened.
I think it was it City?
Was it? I think
No,
so.
they lost. City
No.
lost last year. I don't know. Anyways, I can pull it up real quick if you guys want. But yeah, it's a rematch from like 3 or 4 years ago when Liverpool lost to Real 3-1, and Mo Salah got injured that game on a pretty dirty play, which knocked him out of that game, and he wasn't healthy for the World Cup. So got a little revenge tour for Liverpool.
Yes.
So
Also, I want to point out that hopefully in the next couple weeks we'll be together in the same room making episodes. I think that would be kind of fun. And then obviously over summer we'll have a lot of interview opportunities as well in person, which I think will be pretty cool. We'll have to kind of get used to doing it in person. It's going to be a little different.
Like a
but
month.
I know.
yeah, I don't
when
know
you
how
leave
much
us.
time. Well, in that month too, I'll be in Florida for like 10 days. So
Well, we have about 2.5 weeks worth.
Yep.
Get a couple episodes out.
And I know one of those nights Zach's having an engagement party, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think
Zach's
so?
like, maybe, I don't know. I guess
Yeah.
Kaylee's planning
Well,
that one.
We'll do our podcast at the engagement party. Kaylee would
Yeah.
love it.
I'm sure she'd love that. Yeah. But all right, guys, thank you for listening. Continue to follow, subscribe, all that great stuff. And let's go Blues. We'll see you guys
Yeah.
next time.
Go Blues.
See you guys.